The colony of New Haven was a small but thriving settlement on the edge of human expansion. Located light years away from Earth, it was a place where people had come to start fresh, to build a new life among the stars. The settlers worked hard every day, planting crops in hydroponic farms, constructing buildings from prefabricated materials, and exploring the planet's surface for resources. Among them were Rachel Meyer, an astrophysicist who spent most of her time studying the skies, and Daniel Carter, the head of security tasked with keeping everyone safe. Rachel was known for her quiet focus and sharp mind. She often stayed late in the observatory, scanning the cosmos for anything unusual. That night, as she adjusted the telescope to track a faint energy signal, something caught her attention. At first, she thought it might be a comet or some distant stellar phenomenon. But as she analyzed the data, her heart sank. What she saw wasn't natural. It was a fleet of ships, hundreds of them, moving at incredible speed toward New Haven. She double-checked her readings, hoping she'd made a mistake. Unfortunately, the numbers didn't lie. The fleet was enormous, far bigger than anything humanity had ever encountered. And they weren't slowing down. Rachel felt a chill run down her spine. Whoever, or whatever, was coming. They weren't here to negotiate. Without wasting a second, Rachel rushed to the colony's command center. There, she found Daniel pacing back and forth, his communicator pressed to his ear. He looked up when he saw her burst through the door. "Rachel, what's wrong?" "I've detected a fleet," she said breathlessly. "They're not ours. They'll be here within hours." Daniel froze. His face turned pale as the weight of her words hit him. "Are you sure?" "I'm positive," Rachel replied firmly. "We need to prepare. Now." Daniel nodded, snapping into action. He grabbed his communicator and began issuing orders. Within minutes, alarms blared across the colony, waking everyone from their sleep. People scrambled out of their homes, confused and frightened. Some gathered in the main hall for instructions, while others helped set up barricades around key areas like the power plant and food storage facilities. But no matter how fast they worked, it was clear that New Haven wasn't ready for an attack. Their weapons were outdated, their defenses minimal. This was supposed to be a peaceful outpost, not a military base. As the reality of their situation sank in, fear spread like wildfire. Rachel tried contacting Earth Command for reinforcements, but the response came too late. "Help won't reach us in time," she told Daniel grimly. "We're on our own." Daniel clenched his fists, frustration written all over his face. Then, suddenly, Rachel remembered something. "Wait," she said, grabbing his arm. "There's still hope." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. "There's a ship nearby, the *US Vanguard*. It's experimental, but it's powerful. If we can get them to come." Daniel's eyes lit up with a mix of hope and skepticism. "Do you think they'll answer?" "They have to," Rachel said. "It's our only chance." With trembling hands, Rachel sent out a distress signal to the *Vanguard*, explaining the dire situation. Minutes ticked by like hours as they waited for a reply. Finally, a voice crackled over the comlink. "This is Commander Lucas Hayes of the *US Vanguard*. We've received your message. Stand by. We're on our way." Relief washed over Rachel, but it was short-lived. Looking out at the dark sky, she couldn't shake the feeling that the worst was yet to come. Somewhere out there, an alien fleet was closing in, and the fate of New Haven rested on the shoulders of a single experimental battleship. The *US Vanguard* was unlike any other ship in the fleet. Sleek and futuristic, it bristled with cutting-edge technology that most engineers could only dream of. Its plasma cannons were capable of tearing through asteroid fields. Its engines allowed it to travel faster than any human-made vessel, and its cloaking device rendered it nearly invisible. But despite its impressive features, the ship was still in the testing phase, far from ready for full-scale combat. Commander Lucas Hayes stood on the bridge, staring at the blinking alert on his console. The distress signal from New Haven had been brief but urgent. A colony under attack by an unknown enemy. He turned to Lieutenant Emily Dawson, the ship's lead engineer, who was already typing furiously at her station. "What do we know?" he asked. "Not much," Emily replied, her voice calm but tense. "Just that there's a large fleet heading toward the colony. They're not responding to hails." Lucas frowned. "How long until we reach them?" "About 4 hours if we push the engines," she said. "But sir, you need to understand. The ship isn't fully operational yet. We've never tested the weapons or shields under real combat conditions." "I don't think we have a choice," Lucas said firmly. "If we don't go now, that colony won't survive." Emily hesitated, knowing he was right. She nodded reluctantly. "All right. I'll prep the systems as best I can." As the crew sprang into action, Lucas addressed the team over the intercom. "This is Commander Hayes. We've received a distress call from New Haven. They're facing an unknown threat, and they need our help. I won't lie to you. This mission is risky. Our systems are untested, and we're going up against something we've never seen before. But if we don't act, innocent lives will be lost. Let's make sure the Vanguard lives up to its name." The words resonated with the crew, galvanizing them into action. Engineers scrambled to check every system, while pilots ran simulations to prepare for evasive maneuvers. In the engine room, technicians worked tirelessly to ensure the warp drive wouldn't fail mid-journey. Everyone knew the stakes. Failure meant not just their deaths, but the destruction of an entire colony. Emily stayed glued to her station, running diagnostics on the plasma cannons and shields. She muttered to herself as lines of code scrolled across her screen. "Come on, hold together," she whispered, making last-minute adjustments. Despite her confidence, doubt gnawed at her. What if the systems failed during battle? What if the ship couldn't handle the strain? Hours passed quickly as the Vanguard hurtled through space. Finally, the colony of New Haven came into view on the main screen. It looked peaceful from afar, with lights twinkling like stars scattered across the planet's surface. But the illusion of calm shattered when the alien fleet appeared on the radar. Dozens of ships, sleek and menacing, surrounded the planet like a swarm of insects. "They're huge," one of the officers murmured, breaking the silence. Lucas studied the screen closely. "Cloak us," he ordered. "Let's get a closer look before they notice." Emily activated the cloaking device, and the Vanguard vanished from sight. As they approached, the crew watched in awe and fear as the alien ships moved with eerie precision, almost as if they shared a single mind. Their movements were fluid and coordinated, unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Rechelmeyer, watching from the colony below, felt a surge of hope when she spotted the faint shimmer of the Vanguard cloaked form in the sky. She whispered a silent prayer, grateful for the arrival of reinforcements. But even as relief washed over her, she couldn't ignore the sinking feeling in her stomach. The aliens outnumbered the Vanguard by a wide margin. One ship, no matter how advanced, might not be enough. On board the Vanguard Lucas gave the order to decloak. "It's time," he said, his voice steady. "Let's show them what we're made of." The Vanguard shimmered back into view above New Haven, its sleek form cutting through the darkness of space like a blade. The alien fleet reacted instantly, swarming toward the intruder with terrifying speed. Commander Lucas Hayes gripped the edge of his chair as the first wave of enemy fire streaked past the ship, narrowly missing its hull. "Shields up," he barked, his voice calm but commanding. Emily Dawson's fingers flew across her console, activating the experimental shield system. A faint blue glow enveloped the Vanguard deflecting the next volley of energy blasts. The crew let out a collective breath, but no one relaxed. They all knew this was just the beginning. "They're fast," muttered Lieutenant Parker, the ship's tactical officer, as he studied the radar. "And they're not holding back." Lucas nodded grimly. "Keep us mobile. Use evasive maneuvers. The Vanguard darted sideways, its engines roaring to life as it avoided another barrage. The alien ships were unlike anything humanity had ever seen, smooth and insect-like, with jagged edges that glinted menacingly in the starlight. Their weapons fired in rapid succession, creating crisscross patterns of light that lit up the void. On the surface of New Haven, Rachel Meyer and Daniel Carter watched anxiously from the colony's control center. The sky above them flickered with flashes of energy as the battle unfolded. People huddled together, holding their breaths, praying for the Vanguard to hold its ground. "They're buying us time," Daniel said, gripping the railing tightly. "But how long can they last against that many?" Rachel didn't answer. Her eyes were glued to the screens displaying live footage from orbit. She noticed something odd about the way the alien ships moved. They seemed almost synchronized, as if guided by a single mind. It wasn't random or chaotic. Every movement had purpose, every attack precise. "They're using some kind of hive mind communication," she murmured, more to herself than to anyone else. "What does that mean?" Daniel asked, turning to her. "It means they're connected," Rachel explained quickly. "If we can disrupt that connection, we might be able to break their coordination." Daniel frowned. "How do we do that?" "I don't know yet," Rachel admitted. "But maybe the Vanguard has something we can use." Back on the ship, Lucas ordered a counterattack. "Fire plasma cannons at will," he commanded. "Let's see what these things are made of." The Vanguard unleashed its payload, sending streams of superheated plasma hurtling toward the nearest alien vessels. The shots struck true, tearing through the sleek hulls of several ships. Explosions erupted in bursts of orange and white, temporarily scattering the swarm. Cheers broke out on the bridge, but Lucas silenced them with a raised hand. "This isn't over," he reminded his crew. "Stay sharp." He was right. Within moments, the remaining alien ships regrouped, their movements still eerily coordinated. They launched another wave of attacks, forcing the Vanguard to twist and turn to avoid being hit. Emily gritted her teeth as warning lights flashed across her console. The shields were holding, but they wouldn't last forever. "We need to buy ourselves some breathing room," Lucas said, thinking quickly. He turned to Emily. "Can we use the EMP pulse?" Emily hesitated. "It's risky. If we miss, it could overload our systems. But if we hit, it'll disable a chunk of their fleet," Lucas countered. "Do it." Emily nodded and began inputting commands. Moments later, the Vanguard released a burst of electromagnetic energy that rippled outward like a shockwave. Dozens of alien ships faltered, their systems disrupted by the pulse. For a brief moment, the tide of the battle shifted in humanity's favor. "Good work," Lucas said, allowing himself a small smile. But his relief was short-lived. On the radar, more ships appeared, reinforcements joining the fight. The aliens weren't giving up, and neither could the Vanguard. As the battle raged on, Rachel contacted the ship directly. "Commander Hayes," she said over the comlink, "I think I have an idea." Commander Lucas Hayes listened intently as Rachel Meyer's voice came through the comlink. Her idea was bold, risky, and exactly what they needed if they were going to stand a chance against the alien fleet. "We need to target their central hub," Rachel explained quickly. "From what I've observed, all their ships rely on a single mothership for coordination. If we can disable it, the rest of the fleet will lose its cohesion." Lucas glanced at Lieutenant Emily Dawson, who was already analyzing the data Rachel had sent over. On the main screen, a large, ominous vessel stood out among the swarm of smaller ships. It pulsed with energy, emitting a faint signal that seemed to guide the movements of the entire fleet. "That's their control center," Emily confirmed, pointing to the massive structure. "If we take it out, we might be able to cripple them." "But how do we get close enough?" Lucas asked, his eyes narrowing. The mothership was heavily guarded, surrounded by layers of smaller ships acting as a shield. "We'll have to board it," Rachel suggested. If you can get a team inside, I can help them locate and disable the communication system." Lucas didn't hesitate. "Emily, assemble a strike team. You're leading this." Emily blinked in surprise. "Me? Sir, I'm an engineer, not a soldier. You're also the only one who understands the tech well enough to adapt our systems to their network," Lucas said firmly. "We need you down there." Emily swallowed hard but nodded. She knew he was right. Without another word, she began preparing for the mission, gathering equipment and briefing the volunteers who would join her. Among them was Lieutenant Parker, whose tactical expertise would prove invaluable, and 2 security officers trained in close-quarters combat. As the team prepared, Lucas kept the Vanguard busy, drawing fire from the alien fleet to give Emily and her crew a chance to slip past unnoticed. Using the cloaking device, a small shuttlecraft detached from the battleship and sped toward the mothership under cover of darkness. Inside the shuttle, tension filled the air. Emily checked her tools one last time, her hands trembling slightly. She wasn't used to high-stakes missions like this, but she reminded herself why she was here: to protect the colony and everyone depending on them. When they reached the mothership, the team docked quietly and moved cautiously through the corridors. The interior was eerily silent, lit by dim blue lights that cast long shadows on the walls. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the metallic surfaces, and the hum of machinery echoed around them. "This place gives me the creeps," muttered one of the security officers, gripping his weapon tightly. "Stay focused," Emily whispered. "We don't have much time." Guided by Rachel's instructions, they made their way deeper into the ship, avoiding patrols of insectoid drones that scuttled along the halls. At one point, they narrowly avoided detection when a group of aliens passed just inches away from their hiding spot behind a stack of crates. Finally, they'd reached the core chamber, a vast room filled with glowing conduits and pulsating nodes. In the center stood a massive device emitting waves of energy, the source of the hive mind signal. "This is it," Emily said, pulling out her tools. "Let's shut it down." As she worked, the others kept watch, fending off occasional drone attacks. Sweat dripped down Emily's face as she hacked into the alien system, adapting their virus program to interface with the mothership's technology. Time seemed to slow as line after line of code scrolled across her screen. "We're almost there," she muttered, her voice strained. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship, red lights flashing wildly. "They know we're here," Parker shouted. "Hurry up." With a final keystroke, Emily activated the program. The central device shuddered violently, sparks flying as the signal collapsed. For a moment, everything went quiet. "It's done," Emily breathed. But before they could celebrate, the ground shook beneath their feet. The mothership was destabilizing. "Let's move," Parker yelled, grabbing Emily's arm. They ran back the way they came, dodging falling debris and enemy fire. Behind them, explosions tore through the corridors as the ship began to self-destruct. Reaching the shuttle just in time, the team launched away from the doomed mothership. As they rejoined the Vanguard, the massive vessel exploded in a brilliant burst of light, sending shockwaves through the alien fleet. The destruction of the mothership sent ripples through the alien fleet. Without its guiding signal, the swarm of ships faltered, their movements becoming erratic and uncoordinated. The once fluid dance of the insectoid vessels turned into chaos as they collided with each other or drifted aimlessly in space. On the bridge of the US Vanguard Commander Lucas Hayes watched the scene unfold with a mix of relief and determination. "This is our chance," he said firmly, turning to his crew. "Hit them hard while they're disorganized." The Vanguard surged forward, its plasma cannons blazing. Streams of fiery energy tore through the confused alien ships, leaving trails of explosions in their wake. Lieutenant Parker directed the attacks with precision, targeting the largest clusters of enemies first. For the first time since the battle began, humanity had the upper hand. On the surface of New Haven, Daniel Carter and Rachel Meyer stood side by side in the control center, watching the orbital skirmish on the monitors. The colonists cheered as more and more alien ships were destroyed, their spirits lifting with every blast from the Vanguard *. But Rachel couldn't fully relax. She knew the aliens wouldn't give up easily, even without their hive mind coordination. They still outnumbered the human defenders. "They're regrouping," she said suddenly, pointing to the screen. Sure enough, some of the alien ships were starting to form smaller, independent squadrons. Though less organized than before, they were still dangerous. Daniel nodded grimly. "We need to hold the line here until the Vanguard finishes them off." He turned to the colony's security teams, issuing orders to fortify key positions around the settlement. Barricades were reinforced, weapons checked, and volunteers armed with whatever tools they could use for defense. Everyone braced themselves for the possibility that some of the aliens might break through and reach the surface. Meanwhile, aboard the Vanguard Emily Dawson returned to her station after narrowly escaping the exploding mothership. Her hands were trembling, but her mind was sharp. She quickly analyzed the remaining enemy forces, feeding data to the tactical team. "They're trying to adapt," she reported. "Some of them are forming new patterns. If we don't act fast, they'll stabilize again." Lucas clenched his jaw. "Then we don't give them the chance. Focus fire on their leaders, those bigger ships at the edges of the groups." The crew obeyed without hesitation. The Vanguard unleashed another barrage of plasma blasts, targeting the largest ships in the newly formed squadrons. One by one, the alien vessels erupted into flames, their debris scattering across space. Each explosion brought cheers from the crew, but no one let their guard down. There were still too many enemies left. As the battle dragged on, the strain began to show. Warning lights flashed across the bridge as the ship's shields weakened under repeated hits. Emily worked tirelessly to redistribute power and keep the systems running. Sweat dripped down her face, but she refused to stop. The fate of the colony, and everyone aboard the Vanguard depended on her. Finally, after what felt like hours, the tide turned decisively in humanity's favor. The last remnants of the alien fleet broke apart, retreating into deep space. Their engines flared brightly as they fled, leaving behind a field of wreckage and drifting debris. "It's over," Lucas announced, his voice heavy with exhaustion but filled with pride. "They're gone." The bridge erupted into cheers, the crew hugging each other and slapping backs in celebration. Even Emily allowed herself a small smile, though her body ached from the effort. They had done it. They had saved the colony. Down on New Haven, the settlers poured out of their shelters, cheering and embracing one another. Fireworks lit up the night sky as people celebrated their survival. Rachel looked up at the stars, tears streaming down her face. She whispered a silent thank you to the brave crew of the Vanguard *. But even amidst the joy, Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that this victory came at a cost. The aliens had been defeated, but they hadn't been destroyed entirely. Somewhere out there, beyond the edge of known space, they were regrouping. And next time, humanity might not be so lucky. In the days following the battle, life on New Haven slowly began to return to normal, or as close to normal as it could be after such a harrowing ordeal. The colonists worked together to repair the damage caused by the alien attack. Broken barricades were rebuilt, damaged equipment was fixed, and crops that had been trampled during the chaos were replanted. Despite their exhaustion, there was a sense of hope in the air. They had survived, and they were determined to move forward. Rachel Meyer spent much of her time in the observatory, studying the data she had gathered during the attack. Her mind raced with questions. Why had the aliens come? What did they want from humanity? And most importantly, where had they gone? She pored over scans of the wreckage left behind, searching for clues. Every fragment of alien technology, no matter how small, was carefully analyzed. Rachel knew that understanding their enemy was key to preventing another attack. Daniel Carter, meanwhile, focused on strengthening the colony's defenses. He organized training sessions for the settlers, teaching them basic combat skills and emergency protocols. Weapons were distributed strategically, and lookout posts were set up around the perimeter of the settlement. Daniel also worked closely with Commander Lucas Hayes, who remained in orbit aboard the U.S. Vanguard *. Together, they developed new strategies to protect New Haven from future threats. On board the Vanguard *, the crew worked tirelessly to repair the damage sustained during the battle. Emily Dawson led the effort, crawling through the ship's guts to fix malfunctioning systems and reinforce weakened areas. Though she was physically drained, her mind buzzed with ideas for improving the ship's capabilities. She spent hours in the engineering bay, sketching designs for upgrades based on what she had learned from the alien technology. Commander Hayes, too, reflected on the battle. He called a meeting with his senior officers to discuss lessons learned. "We got lucky this time," he admitted, "but luck won't save us next time. We need to be better prepared." The crew nodded in agreement. Lieutenant Parker suggested expanding the ship's arsenal, while others proposed enhancing the cloaking device and shield systems. Everyone understood that the Vanguard * might soon face even greater challenges. Back on New Haven, Rachel approached Daniel with an idea. "We can't just wait for them to come back," she said firmly. "We need to learn more about them, where they came from, how they operate. If we find their home base, maybe we can stop them before they strike again." Daniel frowned. "That sounds dangerous. Do you really think we're ready for something like that?" "We don't have a choice," Rachel replied. "If we don't take the fight to them, they'll keep coming back until they destroy us." Her words lingered in Daniel's mind. He knew she was right, but the thought of launching an offensive mission into unknown space filled him with dread. Still, he couldn't deny that humanity needed answers and protection. As the weeks passed, the bond between the colonists and the crew of the Vanguard * grew stronger. Rachel visited the ship frequently, collaborating with Emily on analyzing alien tech. The two women formed a deep friendship, united by their shared determination to safeguard humanity's future. Emily admired Rachel's brilliance, while Rachel appreciated Emily's practical ingenuity. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lucas stood on the bridge of the Vanguard *, gazing out at the stars. He felt a mix of pride and unease. They had achieved something remarkable, but the victory was bittersweet. The aliens' retreat was only temporary. Sooner or later, they would return. And when they did, humanity would need to be ready. For now, though, Lucas allowed himself a moment of quiet reflection. The people of New Haven had shown incredible resilience, and his crew had proven themselves under unimaginable pressure. Together, they had faced the unknown and emerged victorious. It was proof that even in the vastness of space, courage and teamwork could overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. But as Lucas stared into the endless expanse of stars, he couldn't shake the feeling that the universe held many more secrets and dangers than anyone could imagine. Months had passed since the battle, and New Haven was beginning to thrive again. The scars of the alien attack were still visible. Burn marks on buildings, patches of barren land where crops had been destroyed. But the colony was alive with activity. People walked the streets with smiles, children played in open fields, and new structures rose from the ground as the settlers rebuilt their home. It was a testament to human resilience, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, life could find a way to flourish. Rachel Meyer spent her days diving deeper into the mysteries of the alien technology recovered from the wreckage. In a makeshift lab set up near the observatory, she worked alongside Emily Dawson, who visited regularly from the U.S. Vanguard *. Together, they pored over fragments of alien devices, trying to decipher their purpose. Rachel's theories grew bolder with each discovery. She believed the aliens' hive-mind communication wasn't just a tactical advantage. It was central to their entire civilization. If humanity could understand how it worked, They might be able to predict or even prevent future attacks. Emily admired Rachel's dedication, but often reminded her to take breaks. "You're going to burn yourself out," she said one afternoon, handing Rachel a cup of coffee. "We've made incredible progress. You need to rest." Rachel smiled faintly, though her eyes remained fixed on the glowing shard of alien metal before her. "I can't stop now," she replied. "Every piece of this puzzle brings us closer to understanding them. And understanding is our best weapon." Meanwhile, Daniel Carter continued to strengthen the colony's defenses. He oversaw the construction of watchtowers equipped with advanced sensors provided by the Vanguard *. These towers scanned the skies constantly, ensuring no enemy could approach undetected. Daniel also organized regular drills for the settlers, teaching them how to respond quickly in case of another attack. Though the colonists were eager to leave the fear behind, they understood the importance of staying vigilant. Commander Lucas Hayes shared their concerns. From his post aboard the US Vanguard *, he kept a close eye on the edges of known space, searching for any sign of the aliens' return. Earth Command had sent additional ships to patrol the region, but Lucas knew the Vanguard * was still the colony's primary line of defense. He pushed his crew to keep the ship in top condition, running simulations and testing new upgrades inspired by the alien tech. Despite their efforts, questions lingered in everyone's minds. Why had the aliens attacked? What did they want? Were there other colonies at risk? Rachel's research hinted at troubling possibilities. Some of the data suggested the aliens viewed humanity not as equals but as obstacles, a species encroaching on territory they considered theirs. If true, it meant the conflict was far from over. One evening, Rachel called a meeting with Daniel, Lucas, and Emily. Gathering around a table covered in maps and schematics, she explained her latest findings. "The aliens operate like a swarm," she said. "They expand outward, consuming resources and eliminating anything in their path. Their hive mind makes them efficient, but it also means they act without mercy." Lucas leaned forward, his expression serious. "Are you saying this won't stop with us?" Rachel nodded. "If we don't act, they'll target other colonies next, maybe even Earth itself." The room fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. Emily broke the silence first. "Then we need to warn Earth Command. We have to prepare for a larger war." Daniel agreed. "And we need to figure out how to fight back. Not just defend ourselves, but strike before they regroup." Lucas stood, his voice steady but firm. "We've faced the unknown once, and we survived. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." As the meeting ended, Rachel looked out at the stars, her heart heavy with both hope and dread. Humanity had proven its strength, but the universe was vast and full of dangers. The battle for New Haven had been won, but the war for survival was only beginning. The sun was setting over New Haven, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The colony looked peaceful now, almost as if the recent battle had never happened. People were busy with their daily lives, tending to crops, repairing buildings, and sharing meals under the fading light. Children laughed as they chased each other through the streets, their joy echoing across the settlement. It was a scene that filled Rachel Meyer with both pride and unease. Standing on a hill outside the colony, Rachel gazed at the stars twinkling above. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for everyone who had fought to protect New Haven. The brave crew of the US Vanguard *, Daniel's tireless leadership, Emily's ingenuity, and Commander Hayes' unwavering resolve. Together, they had achieved something extraordinary. But her mind kept drifting back to the aliens, their motives, and what might come next. The universe was vast, and humanity's place in it felt fragile. Emily joined her on the hill, carrying 2 cups of hot tea. "You've been quiet lately," she said, handing one to Rachel. "What's on your mind?" Rachel took a sip before answering. "I keep thinking about them, the aliens. We stopped them this time, but we got lucky. Next time, we might not be so fortunate." Emily nodded thoughtfully. "You're right. But we've learned from this. The upgrades to the Vanguard are already making a difference, and Earth Command is taking our warning seriously. If they come back, we'll be ready. Rachel smiled faintly. I hope you're right. Still, I can't shake the feeling that we're just scratching the surface of what's out there. Maybe that's a good thing, Emily replied. The more we learn, the better prepared we'll be. And no matter what happens, we'll face it together. Back aboard the US Vanguard Commander Lucas Hayes stood on the bridge, staring out at the endless expanse of space. He reflected on everything they had endured. The chaos of battle, the sacrifices made, and the bonds forged in the heat of adversity. Humanity had taken its first steps into the unknown, and though those steps were fraught with danger, they also held promise. Somewhere beyond the stars lay countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Lucas turned to his crew, who were busy running diagnostics and preparing for their next mission. They had proven themselves capable of overcoming even the greatest challenges, and he trusted them to continue protecting humanity's future. Keep scanning, he instructed. If there's another threat out there, I want to know about it before it reaches us. Down on New Haven, Daniel Carter walked through the colony, checking on the progress of repairs and speaking with settlers. He saw determination in their eyes, a shared understanding that they couldn't take their safety for granted. Though the scars of the attack remained, so did their resilience. Daniel felt proud to be part of such a strong community. That night, as the colony settled into silence, Rachel returned to her lab. She sat at her desk, surrounded by notes and pieces of alien technology. Her work wasn't done. Not yet. There were still questions to answer, patterns to decipher, and dangers to prepare for. But as she looked at the glowing shard of alien metal before her, she reminded herself of one thing. Humanity had faced the unknown and survived. No matter what challenges lay ahead, they would persevere. Far above, the US Vanguard drifted silently among the stars, its presence a beacon of hope. For now, peace had returned to New Haven, but somewhere in the depths of space, the universe waited, holding secrets and threats that humanity had only begun to understand.